watching. We're going to be building a chicken coop or breeder pen. It's going to have 3 bays. It's 24 by 10. Each bay is 8 by 10. Please like and subscribe, and I'll keep on bringing in more videos about projects I do here on the farm. As I said, it's 8 by 10, and they're individual divided bays. It's completely wrapped in chicken wire, and I have considered wrapping it also in welded wire as extra strength for larger predators, but I have not had a problem. The roof is 13 corrugated metal panels, 12 foot long, and I'm going to add some more roofs. I've got to build in some nesting boxes here on this unit, but I need to get all the other units framed first. So I'll walk you through basically how I built this from start to finish. So here is a unit partially in progress. And so this, we're gonna build them to this phase with 2 people. The rest of it can be done with 1 person. You will need probably 2 people to build it to this, where it's a freestanding unit. And then you can do it with, preferably 3 people makes it a lot more easier, but it can be done with 2. So here's how I start from a staking standpoint. I like to have 4 feet of space in between, and then this tree line here is completely straight off the property line. So I measure 8 feet, and where those 2 tape measures, 8 and 4, is my first corner, okay, which is where that post is. I do the same thing. I measure up from this post 10 feet, and I measure over 4 feet. And where those intersect is again another post. Then I go back to this original backside, and I measure over 24 feet to the end post. And from the end post, I measure again 8 feet. So where that 8 feet and 24 feet meets is where that post location goes. Then I come 10 feet up to that post, and where 10 feet meets with my 24 feet is my other post. That gives me 4 corners that are going to be pretty close. To check them, you go from that corner to that corner as a measurement, and then you go from that corner to that corner, each opposite ends, and the measurements should be pretty close to the same. Technically they should be exact, however, this is a chicken coop, not a house, and as long as they're within a ½ inch to 1 inch, I am happy with that. So once I do the 4 corners, I take string, and you should use string that is brightly colored. This brown string is simply what I had on hand, so that's what I used. But basically you build basically a string square around all 4 corners. That gives you a straight line from post to post, from corner to corner. And then I measure in 8 feet, okay? And I set the post right on the string. That allows me to know that I'm in a straight line, and the 8 feet tells me where that middle post is going to be. Then I never measure from middle to middle, never. I always measure from the other end 8 feet. That way, if my measurement gets a little wrong, I'm not amplifying it as I go down by continuing to measure. I'm measuring only from the corner. And where that 8 feet sets on that string is where your other post is going to be. You do the same thing on the back, 8 feet, and then 8 feet. And that gives you all 4 corners. Then I take a bright colored spray paint, and I spray paint about a 4-inch circle around the post. And that's so that when I take out the post, the plastic post, and use my auger, I have a good spot to set down the teeth in the middle of the bit. And then you can just get rid of the string, and that'll give you a real close measurement. So, and I dig with an 18-inch auger bit, which is what's laying over there in the ground. That gives me plenty of room to make final squaring adjustments when I'm assembling the unit. And the way that these are assembled, it's pretty hard to not get them very close to square. Just because we're going to be attaching a 24-foot board to 2 posts, and then the 10-foot board there, and the 10-foot board there, and then the 24-foot board there. So we've got these post holes dug. They're 18 inches in diameter, 2 feet deep, and there's 8 of them. And now I'm going to clear out around the mound so that our boards can fit flush against the ground for the base. And then once those holes are level and the dirt's not in the way, we'll kind of set each post in the ground, just kind of laid in the ground, into the hole, and then we will start putting together the boards. So we've got the 8-foot post put in the back, 12-foot post put in the front. They'll end up like this. So once I run the 2x4s for the roofing, I'll take a chainsaw and cut off the access. So we've got 2 of the 24-foot boards up front. We've got 3 in the back. What we're going to do is we're going to take the one board and we're going to put the 4x4 right here on it. So we're just going to attach the left side and the very right side. And because it's 24 feet, the 4x4 is going to be on the very edge of this flush. It'll be flush right here on both sides. It'll be flush. And then this board will overhang on the 4x4 this way to make a flat square corner. And same thing with back here in the first one, and I'll show you once we align those boards. So we're putting 2 12-footers together, and then the slack we had from cutting the sides, we're going to go across it centered. You'll need to mark a mark on the board to get center, and then what you'll do is put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws in one side, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws in the other. We have the 24 footers come to the edge of the 4x4, and the sides are cut 1.5 inches over. Cut 3 inches over to calculate for this depth. So they should be flush here on this edge. And then on the back side, same thing. The 24s come to the edge of the 4x4. And then these are cut oversized by 3 inches to take over that 1.5 inch depth difference. The next step is we're going to take these sides and we're going to build the sides. At each time you do the side, you recheck level. Obviously there's some play in the forward and backwards of these boards, so you use these side boards to finish and be able to do the final level on the post. You can also use these pieces you cut off the big 24s to let you know how much you should be overhanging on these back ones. So I'll update once we've added the 2 boards on each side. We use that spacer right here as our overhang to measure, make it flush. We did the same thing here to make it flush. While you're attaching these boards, you want to run a level on your post. And if it's not fitting right, you want to push out or in these posts until they are level. And now what we're going to do is we're going to mark 8 feet from here to there, and 8 feet from there to here, and we're going to mark center on the 4x4 posts, and we're going to get those done. And in order to keep this ability to swivel, for now I'm just using 1 screw. That'll allow it some more wiggle room to make final adjustments. Now marked those at 8 foot from the end. And we've centered the 4x4, and these 4x4s are roughly level. You'll make your final level when you put the top 24-foot section in. So now that those are in, we'll be taking these 10-footers and we'll be going across there, and then we'll be coming up to the same height as this measurement, and we'll be coming across at the top as well, and that'll be where you make your final squaring this way on the post. So we ran the 2x6 across the bottom, and you might have to take a mallet and beat the boards because they should line up perfectly, or very close to. And then do the same thing up here. These ones should fit flush because these are cut 3 inch shorter than the outers. And then same thing with the other side. They should fit flush. So now, once we've got this done, we're going to take these last 24 footers on the back, and we're going to run the 24 foot from there across, and then do the same thing with the top one. So we've ran our 24 foot back in the middle. Sits flush with this. Sits flush with these. And then we did the top one as well. And now the only one left to do is the very top across the front. And you can see you're going to have to really push on those boards. You can tell that this one right here is leaning to the right. So when you do that top board, you just push in and out, because again, you know that it's got to be level with the 4x4, because that board is exactly 24 feet that we made, and that will put that board in the correct spot. So this one is fully framed now. So we put the one across the top, and we had to actually push out this 8 inches that way to get it square. But again, it's very important that you're flush, as we are. That's just a sticker on or the staple sticker on the back of the 2x4 on that one, 2x6 on that one. We're flush. So, and that's very important, because if you're flush and level, it's pretty much guaranteed that it's going to be square, and you can tell that it's pretty square. Next tasks will be, I've not poured concrete. Like I said, this is completely freestanding on its own. Tomorrow morning I will put an 80-pound bag of concrete in each of these holes, fill it up with water, take a shovel, smoosh it around, and I'll let that set. And then I'll come back to this to do all of the roofing. So I've got 2 units, and I've got one more coming up. You can see down there, I've got one more unit. I'll have 4 units total, probably 5 eventually, but 4 in this setup. So 12 bays, 12 different breeds. All right, so that does it for this segment of the chicken coop breeder pens. We basically have built the chicken coop to a freestanding structure, and we're going to be next putting up sidewalls with those pieces of plywood and putting in sand, and then I'll start working on the roof. So make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned, because there'll be more videos on this topic to finish the coop. Thanks.